Salama, salama to all the Bantus out there. Kimbo, Kimbo, Natata Nzambi Yamazulu. Today I just wanted to speak a little bit about how even in the midst of all like this coronavirus, um, all the earthquakes, tornado that just happened, wars or rumors of wars, just like how everything that the Messiah spoke about, uh, or warned us about, how even though all these things are coming to pass, there's still people that to this day uh, find themselves questioning whether the Most High is real or not. And I just wanted to give my perspective on it, talk a little bit about it because it's crazy. Because it's like we can see uh, the Most High's spirituality in our daily lives, like all the time, every day, and these people just never like they never take notice of that. It's like because we know the Most High is a spirit, that's why we can't see him physically, but he is the one who says he fills heaven and earth, and how does he do that? But by his spirit, and why like an example of his spirituality being manifest in people is the relationship that people have with animals that they're training. Like we know uh, in zoos, people they train all type of different animals, right? Even so-called wild animals, but they've been domesticated because they've been trained by people. But a way to see it clearly is like the relationship that people have with dogs. It's been known that dogs have been called man's best friend, and what's so I guess so crazy about the relationship man and a dog has is the unspoken relationship they have, the unspoken level of understanding that these two species have, even though these two species do not speak the same language. Like dogs don't speak English, and we don't speak the tongue of dogs, to where even though we don't speak the same language, a man says to his dog, sit, and the dog sits because there's spirit in the dog, and there's the same spirit in the man, to where that when this man says these words out his mouth, the dog understands what the man is saying, even though the dog can't speak English. The dog can't say sit. The dog can't, none of that. But the spirit that's inside the dog is inside the man, so there's a level of understanding where the dog can say sit, roll up, jump, play, whatever command that the man says out his mouth to his dog, the dog is able to understand it and do it. Understand and do it. That's key because even in the book of Romans, the scripture says, the verse says, it's not the hearers of law that's going to be justified, but the doers of law. And I say that because this dog spiritually, spiritually can understand the command of a man and do it. Yet we, people, the children of the Most High, the beings that were created in His image, we can't physically do what He says, even though our dogs do it. Dogs do better than what people do, and it's terrible. It's so terrible, but it's a indictment against us because we can't deny the connection that a man and a dog has, but then try to deny that a connection that a man can have with his creator, with his master. He's like, it's so crazy that people, just like I was saying, if anybody saw my story or whatever, is that the Most High, He says that He's our Father, right? And many of us have children. So if you're a father, like I am, and you have rules in your house, like My son likes to climb up on climb up. He uses his little bike toy to climb up in the sink and turn the water on and play with the water. I tell him all the time not to do that because I just don't like him doing it. And when he does do it, after I told him not to, that's what he gets a spanking. So it's like if we have children ourselves. I have a son. I have a daughter. My daughter knows these commands that I give my son. Don't play with the water. Don't use the bike to climb in the sink and play with the water. So I hear her when I'm in my room. I hear her telling Khalil, no, get down. Daddy said no. Like, that is my daughter, even though she can't even see me. That's my daughter being a good daughter. She's being an obedient daughter. She don't even see me. Like, why do to? We don't need to see the Most High to do what He says do. Because my daughter didn't. She does this all the time. She's being a good daughter, obedient daughter, and my son don't want to listen. He does what he does, and that's the same. It's like it's what we do to the Most High, or what we don't do to the Most High. To where even though we don't see him, some of us are out there acting like my son, who want to do what he want to do, but my daughter, she remembers the command of her dad, of her father, and she's doing them. And I'm not even saying my daughter's perfect because my son will do the same thing back on my daughter when she's doing something. She likes to. My daughter's she loves brushing her teeth, but she'll brush her teeth and be in there so long to where she starts to play in the water, and my son will come and knock on the door. He say Aviella, it's my daughter's name, and I have to tell her to where I have to spank her to get out the water, stop playing. It's the same thing that happened. So it was like neither one of my children see me, but they know I'm around. They know that I am real, and they know what I have said to them, and they have their moments of when they do what I say, even though I don't see them, and then they have the moments when they don't do what I say when I don't see them, and that's the same thing with the Most High. It's like people love taking advantage of His mercy. If it's like I'm just I have to keep talking about children because it's just the way I see it. I guess it's if you again if you're a parent and you have children, you have your first children, right? Because the Most High calls the Bantus uh, his firstborn, right? And you bring them up and you give them everything. Okay, you whatever you got bullies that coming in trying to take your children's inheritance, your children's the things that you gave your child. The bully is trying to come in and take it away from your child. As a parent, what are you gonna do? You're gonna protect your child. You're gonna make sure that whatever obstacle, whatever thing is standing in the way of your child, you're going to take care of it. That's what a good father would do. So that's what the Most High did to us. He brought us up from the beginning. Like how he says in the book of Ezekiel, I gave you gold, I gave you silver, I made you pretty. Because obviously he's talking about the time when we came out of Egypt. Because we went in there with 70 people, and we came out with over 600,000, and that was not including women and children. So he made us a big nation, and from that, when we came out, we didn't have anything. We were slaves. We were subject. But when we came out with the gold of the Egyptians. So he gave us our gold. We didn't have to do anything for it. It was given to us. And then not only that, we were given our own land. We were given our own land, our own territory, and we were given our own laws, statutes, and commandments. We were given our own government and our own principality, our own township, whatever our own era. We had it, and we were living in there for a time. This was all given to us by our Father. So then, as any parent would do, if you see, because this is your firstborn and this is the first child that you're considering this as your firstborn, you gave him everything, and then you start to see that this child has now become spoiled to where now this child is acting up to where this child is getting in trouble and then trying to use you as protection. Just like let's say if anyone was a had a cop as a parent, and that child knows because his parent is a cop that he might get a DUI, and since his parent is a cop, he can get some leeway. And he might get out of that, or they steal something or whatever, and his dad can make it go away because his dad is who his dad is, and that's how the Bantus are acting towards the Most High. And after a while, your father, he's like, okay, I'm going to stop enabling you because you're not doing right. You're not carrying my name on right. You're not doing what I would do. You're not upholding justice. You're not portraying what I exemplify or nor what I want you to exemplify. Okay, so get your act together. You give him a chance. He gets himself together for a chance, but then he starts backsliding. All right, I'm not gonna be a one strike type of person. I give you another chance. Time goes on again. Um, you give him another chance. He does right. He comes back and does right for a little bit, and then finally the third time, he goes and commits grand larceny or whatever. Just something to where you're like, all right, now that's enough. Now you got to get out of my house. Now I'm not going to be your protection no more because you're making me look bad out here. I'm trying to be a good parent. I'm trying to do what's right for you, but now I feel like you're not learning your lesson, and now I feel like you are taking advantage of me. So now if you feel like you can do better, you go off into the cold and lonely world and prove whether you can do better. And that's exactly where we are right now, in the land of our enemies. Okay, you and your forefathers, y'all thought y'all could do better. This is y'all say y'all question whether I'm real or not. Go all ahead and do it by yourself. Go ahead and see how it is without my protection. See how it is when you got your enemy ruling over you, and see how it is when you can't call on me no more. When you thought it was sweet before. You thought that I was just doing this because I'm your father and I'm just going to always be doing this. When no, I require out of you to do the same thing that I am doing. If you see that I'm a good cop and I'm an upstanding cop or a good parent and a parent that's trying to do right, I want you to do right as well. And if you are going to keep doing wrong and bringing shame to me and my name and my household, well, I have to get rid of you because that's not who I am. I'm not I'm not wicked like that, and I'm not going to be known for condoning wickedness. So you go out there, and if you think you can do better, prove it. That's exactly where we are right now, and we so stiff necked at it that where we haven't even humbled our face, people still well they don't question it now. They say he's just not real. They're gonna do it by themselves. They're gonna get to the money. They're gonna chase this bag. They're gonna do what they gotta do for him and theirs. And they go about saying things like the universe is out there. You have to. They just go around. They speak things like karma and stuff. They speak spiritual things, but then deny the creator of spirits. Like it's just ass backwards. I don't care because I'm not a religious person like that. It makes absolutely no sense to where it's sad to say, and I know people gonna look at me sideways. They're gonna look at me like I'm a. They're gonna call me a God fearing fool or whatever. It's just we deserve everything that we get. Like, how do you how do you believe in spirituality and in spirits, but then deny the creator of spirits? Because spirits don't make themselves. Energy cannot make itself. Like, even in science, they always say, um, the what was it the law of motion. An object that's at rest will stay at rest until a force that's greater or equal to moves it. Well, that means energy. They call it kinetic energy. That means that nothing in this world could have been created without for first a force greater or equal to than nothing. That means something was there. Period. Period. Point. You can't make this up. If if they say in the beginning there was the Big Bang, then all of a sudden, boom, things happen. Well, according to the law of motion, there had to be a force greater or equal to than nothing to make the explosion happen. Period. You can't deny that. Therefore, you cannot deny the Most High. Therefore, you can't deny anything that He says out of His mouth, because then you make life out to be a lie. Period. You make the law just that's just the law of motion. If you have like I'm looking at this window right here. This window, it doesn't move. Well, nothing move until now it moved because I put my energy into making it move. That's just facts. You can't say life came into be without saying that there was at least not something equal to or greater than nothing that made life happen. That is the Most High. You cannot deny Him. You cannot deny His spirituality. You cannot deny the beauty in His creation. Just like I spoke about the dogs before. People, you see it even in their own children. Like when women, they give birth to their children and they breastfeed, and or if you're on a bottle, whatever, and you're just talking to your child. Your child does not understand you, but they speak their Babel language, and you know, or you feel in your heart that they know what you're saying, and you just feel the love that you have for your child, and you know that your child loves you, even though that child cannot express its feeling towards you. That is an example of the Most High's spirituality, and it cannot be denied. Like atheists are, they fight against their own anatomy. Really, they're saying that you can't. You just it's retarded. You can't say that your body came from nothing. You just can't. It's scientifically impossible. It's impossible. Therefore, the Creator not being real is not possible. There must be a force greater than or equal to than nothing for life to have ever existed. Therefore, since this is true, this book is real. Yes, it's been tampered with. Yes, it's been tampered with. But that's why we were talking about spirituality. The same thing that makes your dog being able to understand you. The same thing that makes your children to be able to understand you. The same thing, like when you're in a relationship, you can see it like you see it most maybe in the connection of a man and woman when you're making love. There's things that are unsaid but are understood in life, period. Even in conversation, to where when you're laughing and having a good time and you said something that resonates with someone and you know that they understand even more deeply than the words that you just said, and therefore it makes the conversation greater. It makes the good times better because there's a spirit inside of us that understands, and that is the Most High who feels heaven and earth, just like He said. People can't. It's just crazy. You can't deny the Father. All praises. Kimbo, Natata, and Zambi, Amazulu all day. All day. Salam to all the Bantus out there.